Hello everyone, welcome to the video. And today, as you have seen the title is how to write a research paper. So I'll directly jump onto the presentation. I'll not take extra time on explaining other things. We'll just directly jump onto this particular presentation. Now, those who are new to the channel, let me tell you one thing, and let me take a little break here. Let me tell you one thing, that I have this new format of making videos where I'll take one topic and we'll have a long elaboration or detailed analysis of that particular topic. So all right, with that note, let me start this particular topic, which is how to write a research paper. And this presentation is going to be a little bit informal. It's not going to be in the form of like a lecture, or it's not going to have a speaker audience relationship. It will be more like I will go through the topic and I'll try to understand few things, and I'll share that information as well with you. And in that particular process, maybe you will be able to understand what that particular topic is, what are the important things. And if you are not able to understand something, and then please let me know so that I can re-explain those things, or I can, if you find some errors, then also let me know. I'll try to correct those errors. All right, okay, so I'll start with the topic, which is how to write a research paper. Now, okay, I selected this particular topic because many of my UG and PG students, they suffer this particular problem where they are not able to understand how to write a research paper. So basically, it is going to be a little bit basic discussion on this particular topic. It can be a huge, it can be having a huge discussion, and we can have a huge discussion on this particular topic. And there are so many aspects of this particular topic. So I'll share some of the important points, and maybe in that particular process you will understand, and you will be able to write your first research paper. If you have already written research paper, so I'm sure that you're going to have a basic idea what a research paper is. If you don't have that particular idea, this video is going to help you. But if you have already written the paper and still watching this video, I'll try to incorporate some more detail so that the video is helpful for you as well. Now, starting from a research paper, I've selected research paper specifically here. So you can have different types of publications. We all know you can write research papers, you can write review articles and all, right? So we'll focus with the research paper. And why you write a research paper, that is also very, very important question, because when you're doing a scientific study, you need to write that in a formal way where people actually can read that article, and it should have separate sections, and that is a specific format of a research paper. And once you elaborate, you can't just say, right, if you discover something or if you find out something, you can't just go out and just announce that information. You need to provide some proof, and everything is written in a well documented format, well accepted, I would say, scientifically accepted format, and that's a format of the research paper. All those documents, they are basically the Word documents, and they have the information of your research study, and what are the different types of information that is there in the research paper. We'll try to understand that. Okay, I'll start with the first point in this particular presentation, which is daunting task. So I took this particular point as the first point, because people try to take a research paper. Initially, it's going to be an easy task, but it is not. Believe me, it is going to take significant amount of effort from if a group is working, then all the group members. If a single person is writing an article, then it is going to take a lot of effort from that particular person. So it's not going to be an easy task. You need to understand that. But if you have that urge, or if you have that interest in writing scientific manuscripts or some other sort of writing, then probably it is going to be interesting for you. But what happens is when you write a research paper, it's not going to be some sort of an informal or very, very interesting piece of a paper. It will have a lot of data, it will have a lot of references. So that is going to take a lot of time. And at the same time, you need to make sure that your article is free of errors. Your article should have a flow. There are a lot of things. It should not be out of formats for the journals. It should have that guidelines that needs to be followed and so on. So there are so many things you have to take care, and it is going to become a little bit difficult task initially, but maybe after some time you will become habitual for writing research paper, and then you will say, okay, I want to write a research paper, I want to write another research article. So sometimes I've seen people writing manuscripts after manuscripts, and they become so interested and they really like the idea of publishing manuscript. So it depends upon person to person, but for many of the people it is going to be a daunting task, at least once they start writing, because there are so many things you need to take care. But next point is with right tools and guidance. So whenever you do a research project, I'm sure that many of you are doing research projects, and then you have research supervisors that are guiding you. They already have those tools and guidance that they can provide to you, but you have to ask for it. You have to talk to them. You have to ask right questions so that they can basically guide you on various tools that are available. So basically, some of the tools I can tell you right now. You need to add some probably citations, so you need to have the better understanding of the citation tools. For example, EndNote, Mendeley, there are referencing tools available. You need to understand how you can remove the grammatical errors. If you are not English speaking person like me, you need to find out tools so that you can take care of those errors. And then another thing is you need to read a lot. When you're writing a research paper or review article, you need to read a lot, and then you have to keep track of everything. You need to see from where the information is coming out. So you need to have all those tools and guidance. And then my personal suggestions and recommendation to the new researchers is that they need to take breaks in between. Do not try to finish everything on one day or one night. You're going to do a crappy job. I've seen some videos that you can write one paper in one weekend probably. Yes, you can if you're really expert on that one, but if you're new, then please do not do that. Take your time. When you feel saturated, then just close everything and then do something else, right? So that's another point here. Next point is your research and critical thinking skills. They are important. So when you're writing paper, you need to understand that you have to do a lot of research, and you have to also use the critical thinking skills to make that flow of your research paper. So I'm not taking specific examples here. I'm not talking about biological sciences, chemical sciences, physical sciences, although it will be influenced by biological sciences because I'm from the biological sciences background, but I've done some of the biophysical sciences and biochemical sciences, so it's all blend up. But I'm not taking any examples. Maybe in future we'll take a specific example and try to elaborate all those things. All right, so this is the first slide, and moving on to the second one. So what we have here is choose a topic. So you can see we need to select a topic. That's the first thing. You need to find a topic that you want to work on, and then you have to search the literature, what is being done, and what is the updates on that particular topic. So you can see on this side I have so many different circles trying to represent so many topics, and you have to select an area. So you need to find an area where you want to work on. You have to select that particular topic. Okay, so moving on to the next point. First step in writing a research paper is to choose a topic. So you need to select the topic. It can be any topic, but my recommendation to you is you try to find a topic which is close to the supervisor or which is close to the research area of the supervisor, what will happen? Because then the supervisor can guide you on that one. Or if you're interested in a topic, you need to find a supervisor who can guide you regarding that particular topic. Otherwise, validation of that research becomes a little bit difficult. Okay, moving on to the next point, which is what interests you relevant to your academic field. So 2 points are important here. What interests you? That means what is your area of interest, where you want to work on, what is that fascinates you. That you need to find out. And then what is relevant to your academic field? You are trained in, say, physical sciences. You are trying to find a research area in mathematical sciences. That makes sense. If you are trying to find an area in the social sciences, maybe it is relevant, but it's not that relevant. So it's important that the academic field area is merging with the interest and the topic that you're selecting. And I'm sure that is going to happen because this is how you select the particular area to study on, right? That is how you select your academic degree or academic qualifications. Next is some preliminary research. So if you have done some preliminary research, then it's very, very easy to find out a particular topic. So first point is choose a topic. Selecting an area. And now selecting a topic is also very, very important, right? You can't work on low impact areas. You need to work on high impact areas because then the people are working in that area. For example, recently people working on so many infectious diseases, and you can select some of the topics that are relevant to that area. So what happens is your research is going to become more impactful. Again, enough information available to write a paper on the subject. So now you have to see whether there is enough information available on that particular topic to write a research paper. You can't select area which is very, very remote and nobody is working on that one. So you need to find an area where you can collect the information, enough information, or you can do research on that area and then publish the paper out of it. Next point, conduct research. So that's the second point. You have to do research work, and then first point, after selecting the area, is time to conduct the research. Next is academic journals, books, and other resources. So where you can find information regarding that particular topic. So you have academic journals, you have Nature, Cell, Science. So if you go online, go to Google Scholar, type out the research area that you are interested in, go and find out some journals, read those journals, read books and other resources, articles on that particular topic, and see, try to find out the articles that are latest. For example, you can find out the areas that are very, very close to the latest date you're working on, right? So you need to find out that particular article which is latest. Next is take detailed notes. Now take out the article and try to read it very, very thoroughly and see what they have done, what is the significance of that research, and where they have stopped, and is there any loophole or is there any gap they are trying to mention. This is how you can find out that particular gap and work on it. And once you find that gap, and then it will be easier for you to do more research, and the chances of getting published is very, very easy. So next is organize them in a way makes sense to you. So you can do some research slowly. You'll try to collect a lot of information, and then a pile of paper is going to accumulate on your desk. So you don't want that. You need to organize them in a way that makes sense to you. So you can organize them on the basis of the year, on the basis of the area, sub areas. So this is how you can organize them, and then you have a good idea that how you have organized the literature that you have collected, and it is understandable to you. You have notes on those particular topics. Next is refer to your sources as you write your paper. Now also try to write that information in a very, very concise way at the same time, and then make sure that you cite or refer the source that you are taking notes from. It is very, very important to cite the papers. It is highly important to put the references. Without references, it is not a good idea, because people have done a lot of work to actually write that piece of paper. You can't just ignore that. You need to cite those papers. Next point, develop a thesis. You need to find out a thesis statement. You need to find out what is the purpose of your research work. You need to find out that particular point, and then you have to develop that thesis, which is the main point or the argument of your paper. It can be anything. I'm not going to give the examples here. It can be anything. It is the main point, but it's the main point of your research. Maybe it can be this one factor is responsible for increase in population. So you're trying to collect the literature whether that factor is actually causing increase in population or not. This is how you can develop a thesis. Next is a clear and concise statement. Next is you need to have that clear statement. Here I have mentioned only one factor, right? So whether you can say nutrition is responsible for the increase in the population of specific organisms. I don't know, maybe like this. So you can have that clear and concise and short statement of your thesis when you're writing the paper. It should not be very, very broad. It should not be unclear to you. You should have a clear idea that what kind of thesis you're developing. Next, summarize your research. You need to summarize your research. When you're doing your research, you need to point out the summary points. Next, thesis is well supported by your research. The next point is your thesis, whatever you have decided to work on, it should be highly supported by the research. So you need to find a lot of articles that supports the thesis that you're working on. Next point, write an outline. Now what you have done is you have selected the area, you have done some literature, you have found out articles, you have enough evidence to support the thesis. Next time is to write an outline. So you need to write the outline. Outline means give headings to different sections, maybe elaborate a little bit about those headings. So that's the outline. You don't need to write entire paper at this particular point, but you need to put everything maybe in a flowchart way. So introduction will flow like this, your subsections will flow like this. I'm not explaining different parts of the manuscript or the research article here, although I have lots of videos. If you want to look into that one, please go and watch all those videos where I've explained abstract, introduction, material method, and so on. Right now sorry, I'm just taking my time and starting from scratch and trying to tell you that how you're gonna outline the everything. Let's take the example of introduction. So you can write the introduction in a flowchart way where you highlight the main sections that you are going to elaborate. So that is your outline. Organize your thoughts and ideas. So what is your thought and idea to write the introduction? Just put it out there, write in the point-wise manner. This is the roadmap of your paper. So that is why I told you it's a flowchart. It's a roadmap. How you're gonna flow through the information, how you're going to put the information down on that particular piece of paper. So that is the roadmap, the idea of the roadmap. Next is you need to write the introduction, body of the paper, and conclusion. So all these three important points, and body of the paper, by the way, includes a lot of things, right? So you need to put everything all together, but not in a well documented manner. This is just the outline. Moving on to writing the paper. Now it's a time to start writing your paper. Now, this is something serious going on. This is something you need to work very, very seriously. You can't take break in between. Otherwise, what will happen? You will lose interest and you will never complete your first paper. So never take a break. You will take the break once it is done. So time to start writing your paper. Next, include all the necessary information that you have collected. Do not lose any information. That is why I told you to organize the information and put that information in an organized way so that you can refer back to that information as quickly as you can. So you need to put all that information to support your thesis. So all the information is basically there which is supporting the idea, and you can also put some of the information that is it's not in support of the thesis. That is also good. So you can put that particular section as separate, but if you have strong evidence against the hypothesis then or the thesis, then it is important to put in that particular document format. Clear and concise language, this is very, very important. Sometimes we try to add so many sentences and try to join them all together. It's not a good idea. You need to put all those things in a short and crispy and concise sentences, very, very short, not very short sentences, but you can see you don't want reader to lose that particular flow. If you have long sentences, you're going to lose that particular flow. So you need to use clear language and also concise language. Next is cite your sources properly. You need to cite the sources, but proper source citation is important. Sometimes what we do is basically you're going to cite a paper which is not relevant to that particular evidence. So you need to find out a valid reference which is directly linked to that particular statement that you are putting in your paper. So in short, cite your sources properly. Next is edit and proofread. Now you have to edit again and again and then also proofread. Edit and proofread means you need to correct and also see whether the correction is good or it's not good. So you need to do the editing again and again, but in between you need to take a break. So once you have written your article, you need to take a break and just maybe give that particular article to your friend and let him or her read that article. After that you need to read that article, but once you have written that article, you need to take a break. Just leave that article somewhere for some time, not very long, and then come back to it. Next, back to it later with fresh eyes. Now you need to come back with fresh eyes. Read through your paper. You need to go through the paper, trying to see if you can understand your paper, if you can understand the flow, and the flow seems to be relevant to you. If it flows well and makes sense, that's another point. It should flow well and it should make sense. Next is edit for clarity and accuracy, proofread for spelling and grammar errors. So you need to edit it for clarity. Clarity means, when you're reading something, it should be in a flow, it should be clear, it should not add complex things, and then if you're adding something, you need to put a little bit clarifying point before you are putting that particular concept in your paper. It should be accurate, so you should not add facts that you think it's accurate but it is actually not. You need to cross-check all the facts. Proofreading is important for spelling and grammatical errors. Grammatical errors and spelling errors, they are going to kill your article. You need to make sure that these errors are not there, because they are really, really annoying for reviewers, and the impression that reviewers get from your paper is basically the writer is sloppy. So you need to understand that the grammatical errors should not be there. It should have a nice flow. It should not be very, very complex. It should not be having long sentences, and you need to proofread your article very, very carefully. Okay. So what next? Conclusion. So I think I have tried to cover most of the basic points without giving the example of a specific type of article or an article that is related to a particular area. So I hope that you understood all those points. If you are not able to understand some of the points, then please do point out all those things in the comment sections. I'll try to answer all those points. So next is, let's just summarize what we have discussed. First point is, writing a research paper can be challenging. That we all know that, right? That we already discussed. Next is, the right tools and guidance is needed to write the research paper, and it will help you a lot. Choosing a relevant topic is important. The topic should be relevant to your training. It should be relevant to the team. It should be relevant. You should have some sort of experience in that particular area. At least you should understand the basic terms. You're a biologist. You're trying to write a paper on a mathematical concepts. Is it going to happen? No, it's not. Conducting thorough research. You need to do research on that particular topic. It's important. Developing a strong thesis statement is another important thing for your paper. If your thesis is strong, then readers are going to like it. It should be clear and concise. Outlining your paper clear and concise, that I told you that you can use the idea of flowcharts and then outline your research paper. Next point is editing and proofreading. Editing and proofreading again and again. You take a break and then come with the fresh eyes, but do the editing and proofreading again and again. If you feel saturated, give your paper to another person and let him or her read your paper and try to find out any errors are there or not. So I think this covers most of the important points regarding the writing of the research paper. If you're writing for the first time, if you're a PG, UG, or a fresh PhD student, so I'm sure these are going to help you a lot. We'll try to cover some more important points. I have made videos on introduction. I made videos on material methods, results, and all. I'll again rephrase those videos for you. I'll try to make more videos that will help you to understand the process of writing the research paper, writing the review paper. We'll try to dissect different sections of some of the online available articles, so that is also going to help us. And if you're new to the research area, please go through those videos. I'm sure those are going to help you and make you a better researcher. All right, okay, so I hope this video was worth of your time and it helped you to understand the research paper and how you can write the research paper in general, not very specific. And I'll bring more tools, and I'll also provide some guidance for you all on particular project work that you're doing. Okay, I'll meet you in my next video. Till then, take care and happy writing from my side. Okay, thank you everyone.